Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tuck Your Chin podcast. Today we're going to be predicting Hell in a Cell 2020. It's the show with the cage and such, where all feuds come to an end. I think that was the tagline for years back in the day. We have several Canadians with us today. Let's start with my co-host Jason from the Crash and Burn shit thing.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fastest rising podcast in pro wrestling. Welcome to the Tuck Your Chin podcast. I am back on this podcast for the first time in 6 months.
That's right. Welcome back, Ezekiel.
Thank you, David.
All right. Now, moving on to another Crash and Burn alumni, Wyatt.
You mean Tuck Your Chin alumni? Because I'm a former member of this podcast, and yes, of course,
I
I'm
will
Wyatt,
beat the shit out of you. No.
A former member from the Tuck Your Chin podcast, the current administrator from the Crash and Burn Wrestling podcast.
You mean host? You mean host?
Yeah.
You're also a host.
Yeah. But Crash and Burn is airing an episode tonight, but I'm going off topic here, so please sit and relax, wear your condoms, and just enjoy your ride on Tuck Your Chin.
And Tuck Your Chin.
Right. That's right. And finally, Nicholas.
Hello once again. I have returned from my slumber to be a special guest here, the fastest rising wrestling podcast on YouTube today, the Tuck Your Chin podcast. I am a co-host of the Scoops Out Loud podcast with my dad, who is also a guest on the show. You can catch all of those episodes on his YouTube channel, and also subscribe to these guys. They're freaking amazing. Why wouldn't you?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Also, Nicholas, if you didn't know, I have a huge Liv Morgan obsession.
Good for you.
Yes, if you didn't know, Wyatt is a fucking clown on Crash and Burn.
Yes.
Expect him to bring comedy here.
I can try, but I never really brought comedy to this podcast.
Oh, you're welcome to.
Honestly, Wyatt, I'll go out on a limb and say that you could possibly be the number one contender for the horny weight championship. God damn it.
The most prestigious prize.
Also, will I need lotion for it?
Okay, who's gonna run down the card?
Me or you? Card, Jason.
All right, you can do it.
Okay.
I'll host the next episode.
All right, so let's get into things here. We've got we're gonna get all the matches that I'm the least interested for out of the way. Okay, we'll start with Jeff Hardy versus Elias. This match feels like it's happening for literally no fucking reason. You know, what makes me sad about with WWE with like current returns is the majority of them have been really lackluster. Like when Kurt Angle came back, I was like, holy shit, this will be great, and it wasn't as great as we had all thought. And then fucking Jeff and Matt came back, and that hasn't gone in the greatest way because Matt Hardy left on very bad terms, and then Jeff is just there, and he hasn't really been doing a lot that's been worth noting. I'm just gonna say I think Jeff is gonna win, and like that's it. Jason, what do you think?
I'm gonna go for Jeff Hardy for this match because yeah, he's just Jeff Hardy. He's a badass.
That's right. Nicholas.
Yeah, I also have Jeff Hardy winning this. I mean, it's not like the most out of nowhere feud for me, at least. I mean, you have the backstory of Elias got hit by a car, but Jeff may or may not have been driving it. We don't freaking know. It may as well be Sheamus, and they're just going to give us an obvious plot twist, like Mustafa Ali being the hacker again. And as you said, as both of you earlier said, the returns have been pretty lackluster, and Jeff Hardy has been, for me, lackluster to just downright disturbing, especially with that alcohol abuse storyline
thing. Yeah. Remember the piss when Jeff took the piss and yeah.
I just want to end. It just
Yeah.
Jeff, please win and please do anything else. Just get as far away from that story as possible, and I will be happy.
Oh yeah. All right. And finally, Wyatt.
Okay, so probably it'll be a solid fight this Sunday. I definitely see Jeff taking the W. If Elias won, Elias could win by a roll-up or something. But definitely this to the storyline. Thankfully, I'm gonna state an unpopular opinion here. Retribution has had a terrible build-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jeff Hardy's my pick. Why not pick my favorite of all time?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Fucking Big Jeffrey. Elias is finna lose. All right. Moving on. We've got fucking Bayley versus Sasha Banks in a Hell in a Cell match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Personally, with this fucking match, I don't like Sasha at all. So I guess my money is on Bayley. Although Sasha's probably gonna win because if she doesn't win, then she'll probably bitch and complain to creative and then leave for several months, and throw a hissy fit. Because despite the fact that she's a grown woman, mentally she's a fucking 7-year-old. So yeah, I'm not really looking forward to this goddamn match. Sasha's probably gonna win if we're gonna be honest. Yeah, that's really my thoughts. Jason?
I'm gonna go for Sasha Banks for this match because, Bayley had it tough for a long time. It's time for her to lose it, and I'm sick and tired of her reign. I used to be a fan of her heel gimmick at first, but it's getting boring at this point.
Yeah.
So I want Sasha to win.
All right. Wyatt?
Definitely either way. I strongly can't stand either one of them because whenever they get up, I'm like, oh, I gotta turn on TV and go, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta take a piss. But definitely this match is definitely my piss break match. Hopefully this match is over when I get done pissing. But it could definitely see Sasha winning, but Bayley continuing her reign, we definitely know it. It goes either way. But definitely they're both terrible heels. Bayley, I wanted her to turn heel, and hopefully once she turned heel, she did terrible on it. In both of their heel runs, they've been both bland and stale. Both of them is face bland and stale. And now Bayley says she's definitely I find Bayley the worst heel ever in professional wrestling history. Because Bayley is the heel woman wrestler who's been shoved down our freaking throats for so many months. But I guess probably I'd go with Sasha this Sunday because why not? Because I can't stand Bayley more than Sasha. But Sasha, what makes her stand admire her so much? Why would you admire a women's wrestler who complains backstage, complains for what she wants, and so forth? But is it what makes her stand? Because I'm gonna give you a warning here. I know how bad I'm ranting on this. Probably a Sasha stand's probably gonna report this video because I'm talking shit about her. Mm-hmm. Sasha looks like a rainbow chihuahua.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Nick, you're next.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to be contrasting to what all of you said, but I'm actually pretty excited for this match. To be fair, with Sasha's last Hell in a Cell last year with Becky, which was amazing, and the fact that those two have had amazing matches in the past, I feel like that they can produce something, I think, magical with this. I definitely didn't like the fact that they had a match on SmackDown before that. That kind of tainted the water for me a little bit. But for me, I feel like this isn't the end, and it's like what you said earlier, that Hell in a Cell used to be the be-all and end-all of feuds, but it doesn't feel like this is the be-all and end-all of the storyline. It feels like it's kind of just started. We've had the sort of slow dissension to the point where Bayley finally breaks and attacks Sasha, but now you're starting with the Hell in a Cell. This doesn't feel like a one-match feud. I feel like this would be at least 3 matches, but you're starting off with the match that would be the catalyst of the whole thing. So I have Bayley winning this actually, because I don't know why I feel like Bayley's gonna win. I just don't think Sasha's going to win. That's literally the only reason I think Bayley is going to win. I feel like they're gonna push the Sasha win. Maybe until Survivor Series, maybe until a major pay-per-view. I like the build-up. I like the story, and I do kind of like Bayley as a heel. And Sasha's not as convincing as a face as I would like her to be. I probably sound like a rambling mess at this point, but I have a lot of thoughts in my head about this feud, and I'm just trying to put it all together. So, in summary, I have Bayley going over Sasha Banks in some scummy, nerdy heel way.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Also, one more thing I wanted to add here.
Yeah.
Definitely, we definitely need to start a. I know I'm a dick for saying this, but we definitely need to start a GoFundMe to have enough money to fire Bayley and Sasha, because they should not be called the Boss and Hug Connection, not even the Bark and Bark Connection. Their name should be called the Rape Killers.
Damn,
also,
bro.
Nicholas, did you ever know how bad Sasha's stands are?
I haven't really seen any example. I've seen like just a lot of very thirsty people on YouTube, just like, oh my god, Sasha, wow, and that's kind.
You need to check out Twitter.
I don't plan on doing that. So
Don't.
That's why you never see my social media in the friggin' descriptions. I don't have one, and I don't ever plan on having one. Next match.
For one episode.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so the next match, this one was like just announced recently. We have Otis versus The Miz for the Money in the Bank contract. I don't care what anyone says. Listen, Otis is a good wrestler. Otis is hilarious. Otis is a great comedy gimmick.
Agreed.
But god damn it. I think that they made a big mistake having him win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Do you want to know why? Because the only person in the fucking Money in the Bank ladder match this year who should have won that briefcase is Aleister Black. And the fact that they didn't have him win still angers me even now. Like, him winning would have been perfect. A great way to get him started as a star, but they didn't decide to do that, and they had Otis, a comedy gimmick, win. So, I know that he's won the briefcase before. I don't give a shit. I want The Miz to win the briefcase again. That's my prediction. Listen, like I like Otis. He's funny. Whatever. Comedy gimmicks shouldn't have championships or championship opportunities. Why do you think somebody like Eugene never won a title? Why do you think somebody like Adam Rose never won a title? Why do you think somebody like No Way Jose never won a title? The list goes on, right?
Yeah, I believe Santino was a comedy gimmick, but he won a mid-card title.
Yeah, but mid-card, right? Like, that strong emphasis on that. But yeah, I want The Miz to win. He should win, and it's as simple as that. That's it. Nicholas.
Yeah, I definitely have the same opinion as you, that Otis is a really great comedy gimmick, and also I think he's kind of an underrated worker. I think he's really good, and I definitely do want Miz to win. I want him to take the briefcase, only because I don't think it's logical for Otis to cash in on a world title or even win a world title. To be fair to him, that's not saying anything about his work or anything, like I said. But in just predicting what they're going to do, I predict that they're going to keep the briefcase on Otis, because the thing is with WWE is that they don't really explore like a lot of new territory. I feel like, I mean, they do with a lot of the recent stuff. I mean, Retribution isn't like this totally original idea, but it's different in its own way. And then they just crapped all over it.
Look at their names. Look at Mia Yim's name. Reckoning.
Oh Lord. So I don't think they're going to have Miz win it, unfortunately. I think they're going to keep it on Otis, and who knows what the hell they're going to do then. They'll just probably come up with a gimmick like he freaking has amnesia and forgets he has the briefcase, and then a year passes by. He's just like, oh, I didn't know I had the briefcase. Oh, well. I think Miz is going to win. Was that I said Otis? God, I am losing my mind. Retribution is
It's all right.
corrupting my mind and is
Retribution can
corroding.
interfere in the fight.
It's okay. It's all right, man. Take your time.
Oh God.
Retribution could be at your door. The lights could go out.
Shut up, Wyatt.
I haven't gotten much sleep lately. Next.
All right, yeah. Jason.
Okay, so I'm going for the Miz to win, but I don't mind. But I don't mind Otis winning, but because like Otis is a good wrestler, he's funny, he's entertaining, he has talent in him, but the way he won the briefcase was pretty stupid, as you guys remember. 'Cause I don't know. But yeah, I'm going for the Miz to win.
Okay. All right. Fucking. And finally, Wyatt.
I've been really attracted to Otis since like January this year, but Otis is definitely
You've been attracted to Otis, huh? All right.
Oh no. I'm going with Miz to win this, but
yeah.
I really thought it was a mistake. WWE actually made Otis win the briefcase. Like I was aiming for AJ or Corbin to win, but Otis won. But Otis,
the way he won it.
Otis was definitely let him be himself. Like Otis is definitely works his butt off to be an entertaining. Like he's definitely a great comedy act. Like they could definitely put him in the 24/7 title scene because Otis is such a funny character. But definitely what could interest me a little bit, since Tucker got drafted to Raw, what they could do is Tucker could turn on Otis, and then maybe Miz could make a steal for the win, and then Tucker could be like Miz's bodyguard or something, and then Otis can go on and do his own thing.
Yeah.
So I might go, but I know people are going to disagree and beat me about that because, and pretty much Heavy Machinery needs to split up because Tucker gets zero attention because Otis gets all the attention. Otis is the reason why Heavy Machinery is one of the big things. Because Otis is the one who draws the attention, not Tucker. But definitely Miz winning could be cool because maybe they could have him cash in and become WWE champion 10 years later.
I'm down to see that.
But
yeah.
Very underrated what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on, we got two more matches. These are like the last ones.
Yeah.
We will start with the for the WWE Championship in a Hell in a Cell match, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. I am praying to the God that I do not believe in that this will be the end of the goddamn feud because, like, good Lord, man. Listen, Randy and Drew, I love them, and they've also had a great feud, but I would prefer to see this feud end here. Like, they've had great matches, they've had a good feud, but let's not drag this. Let's not beat a dead horse. Not only because it's against the law, but because you shouldn't do it. I think that Drew's gonna win, and then Randy's gonna fuck off and do something else for a bit. I think Drew's gonna retain, and then that'll just be the end of the feud. Something will happen. Maybe Drew's gonna retain. Wyatt, I already know who you're gonna say. Who do you think is gonna win?
People know I definitely want Randy to win, but I really don't see. I kind of see Drew retaining. I kind of see Drew retaining. But hopefully, if Randy wins, he wins by the punt kick. Because I definitely that's definitely one of the most sick finishers I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
But Randy, I'd go with Randy. But I see Drew winning, Drew dropping the title until the Rumble.
Yeah. All right. Jason?
Well, as you guys know, Hell in a Cell is where feuds end. And I pray to God that this Drew versus Randy feud ends here. Because this has been going on for a while, and Drew has been winning since. So I want Randy to go fuck off and do something else, like maybe go after another title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go for McIntyre to win.
All right. And finally, Nicholas.
I have Drew winning this, like everyone else here. this definitely should be the end of the feud, and unlike the norm, which is dirty ignoring all wrestling logic, they actually have a possibly feud-ending match taking place in Hell in a Cell. Wow, what an original idea that is. They've had a great feud, and I feel like there's a ton of talent that Drew can definitely go after and have great matches with, like Keith Lee. We've seen like the potential for that. I feel like he might be the next challenger for that belt. And
Keith Lee?
Yeah, I think he might.
Keith Lee just got called up. People are going to complain if Keith Lee gets next for McIntyre. People say, it's too early. Keith Lee can go after the U.S. title.
Yeah, I don't know, because, I mean, Keith Lee's he's had, I really think Vince is very, very high on Keith Lee. I mean, he's had, his first match in the company was, WWE is its own separate company now from NXT. I mean, I'm at that point, but I'm convinced of that. I mean, his first match and his first victory in the brand was against Randy Orton. So, I mean, I feel like Vince has big plans for him. He's feuding with Braun Strowman, and I feel like he might actually win in that. And I think for him to beat Braun Strowman, that's pretty much a setup to go after the title. I feel like, and I also don't think they're going to do the three-way Survivor Series thing like they did last year because of the everything that's been going on with COVID, especially in NXT, and I don't think they want to risk that. So I think they're either just going to do Raw versus SmackDown for this year, or they may not even do a brand versus brand thing at all, and they might just have a regular like Survivor Series match of some sorts, Retribution versus WWE or something. That's what I feel like they might be doing. And then you can just have the regular world title matches, and I think Drew versus Lee might be that. And then who knows, maybe Randy friggin' like, I'm going to go join Team WWE because whatever, that sounds cool. That Retribution sucks. So, yeah, that's
terrible build-up.
Terrible build-up. Terrible build-up and terrible names. So, yeah, that is my prediction for.
All right, and finally, onto the main event. We have Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Jey Uso. Now, according to Wikipedia, this is a Hell in a Cell I Quit match, and if Jey Uso loses, he and his brother Jimmy will have to take orders and acknowledge Reigns as the tribal chief. So,
let me get my Roman Reigns action figure. Hold on.
All right, we have the large K9.
Yeah. The large K9.
So, Jason, who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to go for the big dog, Roman Reigns. That's easy.
All right. Wyatt.
Here's the reason I'm actually tuning back in to wrestling and SmackDown, so I got to go with the big dog, Roman Reigns. But I talked about it on the tease on Crash and Burn, so I'm not going to talk about it on here. So definitely check it out on our other podcast to know what I'm talking about. So, Nicholas, you can go.
Yes.
Go ahead, buddy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the honor of speaking. Yeah. I definitely have Roman winning. I love Jey Uso. He has definitely proved himself to be an amazing talent. I've totally underestimated him as a singles guy for the last 5 years. But Roman's definitely going to win. I don't see Jey winning the title. But my prediction for what will come after is, because it's not just about the tribal chief thing. It is about that, but it's also about Roman trying to just have complete control of the family. And as he said on SmackDown, he said the stakes were that if Jey loses, not only will he be excommunicated from the Antwan family, but so will Jimmy, and so will their wives, and their children, and their children's children, and their children's
and Hulk
children's
Hogan's
children.
friend.
And Hulk Hogan's gym buddy. And
what about Dwayne the Dwayne?
oh, oh. Oh, I'm sure he will be heartbroken. Yeah, but what I predict may happen is that the rest of the Antwan family, after Roman's like, yes, I have excommunicated my cousins, I win, I'm the tribal chief, I am the big dog. I feel like they're gonna have like a twist or something, or at least this is how I would almost write it. That's like, yay, acknowledge me as your tribal chief, everybody. I have saved you all from these freaking idiots called the Usos. And like, no, you, like Rikishi's like, you kicked my sons out of the family. You said you were going to bring food to the table, but then you just took it away from my sons. No, I'm not respecting you. I don't consider you our tribal chief. And rather than the Usos get excommunicated, pretty much because Roman's such a jackass to his own family, he's going to find himself being excommunicated, and it's going to drive him.
And then they're gonna fucking burn his house down.
Burn the spirit of the big dog, and he's going to have a freaking aneurysm in the ring. Yeah. And I feel like that might be the lead up to Roman versus The Rock, which is what I feel like may happen at Mania. That, Roman's like, what do I got to do to get to his family? I know, I'll kill the one guy that makes us like $100 million a year or whatever. That'll get everyone's attention.
The Pebble.
Yeah. Yes.
Before you add anything on here, Nicholas, if you agree with Roman Reigns, that's good that they're actually making him the top guy at SmackDown because the man actually has the look of a star. Definitely, I understand his theme song's very, very, very slow and stuff, but they could change his theme song. That's good that they took the vest off him because he looks more of a cartoon character with that on. And all they got to do is, if they're going to improve him more, don't make him read a damn script.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Roman Reigns has the look of a star. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It was never how he looked. It was never how he wrestled. It was never any of that I didn't like him in the first place. I didn't like him because, one, WWE was shoving him down our throats every freaking week and trying to build him as the next big guy when we had all these other guys that they were burying. And also, we'd seen this before. We'd seen this with all these other, like, sons of famous wrestlers and cousins and whatnot. Yeah. It's like we want fresh guys that the fans actually want. Listen to the fans. And then they say, we're going to listen to the fans. And then they give us Retribution. They give us Jeff Hardy being an alcoholic again. They give us...
That's good. They actually split up the New Day finally because they're dumbass cartoon characters. Now they actually can be themselves now. Now finally Big E's by himself.
Yeah. But I kind of respect WWE for how they split up the New Day because because I think I would have hated it if they did a split up angle with the New Day because you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that with these guys specifically. Like with other factions that have been around for years, you could definitely do that. But with the New Day, I don't think you could do that. With the following they've had and the success and just the way their characters were built as these jovial, fun-loving guys that stuck to each other no matter what, and especially with all the recent events and how we've seen them not just as the cartoony guys that they usually portray, but as the real people they are. I don't think you could have done that and made one of them a heel or two of them a heel out of this. I think splitting them up by the draft was the right way to go about it. That you still have the possibility of them coming back together, but at the same time, you also have the possibility of them going their own separate ways. And they've proven in the past that they can go their own separate ways, do amazing stuff like Big E's NXT title run, which everyone forgets about. So it gives you a lot of storyline opportunities, and I'm really excited for that. Wait, weren't we talking about Roman Reigns and how he's the big dog?
One more stupid thing I wanted to add here. Did you know Mojo Rawley never got drafted this year? And did you know that Bo Dallas is still employed?
Damn. Poor Mojo.
Pointing it out there.
His poor friend went
Since
back to the
Gronk left,
NFL.
I guess leave as well. Everyone's leaving. Everyone's losing their jobs. There'll be another release wave probably next year.
No. That is my
What the hell are we
prediction.
even talking about? Evan and Jason are just drop dead quiet.
This isn't even just a conversation about Hell in a Cell. This is just us airing our grievances about WWE / Retribution. So that is my predictions for Reigns versus Uso number 2.
All right.
Yeah.
And Wyatt, did you go?
I did go with Reigns.
That's right. You're Canadian. That's right. Okay. Right.
All
So,
right,
well, ladies and gentle ladies, that was our predictions for Hell in a Cell. I don't know who Helena Cell is, but it's some chick. She's probably nice. She's probably a sweet lady. But yeah. Moving on. We hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, I will find you. And
I would definitely.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch and like and subscribe.
As
And
of 967, I've got one right here.
yeah, right. Okay, right. So yeah, let us know in the comments what your predictions might be. Subscribe and shit. And yeah, fuck it. Outros. You can follow me on Instagram at Ronald Van Donald. You can follow me on YouTube at Ronald Van Donald. You can follow me and subscribe. I upload there occasionally. And you can follow me on Twitter at Ronald Van Donald. Although I don't really post there. I just retweet other people's shit. And yeah, that's it. Jason.
Thank you all so much for checking out this episode of the Tucker Chin Podcast. We hope you all enjoyed this Hell in a Cell predictions. You can check out the Crash and Burn Hell in a Cell predictions edition over on our podcast. You can catch myself, Wyatt, and Evan there, who's also a full-time member on that podcast. And Nicholas, you're welcome on the show anytime on Crash and Burn.
no problem.
And as always, guys, thanks for having me back. And always tuck your chin.
Yeah.
Wyatt.
Thank you so much. I finally made my return for the first time in 6 months. So thankfully, it feels like a pleasure. I didn't think I'd ever come back on, but thankfully I actually got a chance to come back on. But definitely, it was cool meeting Nicholas for the first time. And please, to everyone, go subscribe to the Crash and Burn podcast. Keep crashing and burning it, and also keep coming here. I haven't said this for the first time in I don't know how long. But stay safe, everyone. Wash your hands, wash your ding dong, and God bless.
Yes. And finally, Nicholas.
Finally. Finally, I've returned to the Tucker Chin podcast, and now we are ending it, sadly, this episode. Subscribe to these guys. Subscribe to the wonderful people over at the Crash and Burn podcast. Also subscribe to I forget what my podcast is called because
Scoops
these
Out
people
Loud.
are just because these people are so goddamn delightful. I can't even remember my freaking thing. Subscribe to the Scoops Out Loud podcast where you can catch some interesting interviews with such names as Mark Marrow and Glacier.
By the way, Nicholas, I don't remember if I mentioned this to you, but I still want to be a guest on your goddamn podcast.
Hint.
I'll
call your dad a Canadian.
Spoilers, maybe?
I'll call your dad a Canadian.
Or maybe me and Y can come on there.
Yes.
No.
The collection of the greatest Canadians ever.
Have AJ on your podcast. He'll talk over people. You can have our member AJ come on your podcast. He'll talk over people.
Yes, that is exactly what we're looking for.
That's exactly what you need on your podcast.
So, as I will reiterate, subscribe to these wonderful people. Subscribe to the Crash and Burn podcast. Subscribe to my podcast. Still can't remember it. And smash like and stay safe and be nice to people. Simple as that. Yeah. Go watch the pay-per-view and hopefully don't die of boredom or something while watching it because I feel like that might happen with me.
And stay tuned for our Hell in a Cell recap episode on Crash, Burn, and Tuck Your Chin.
That's right.
And our guest, before we end this, tuck your chin, everybody.
Tuck your chin.
Tuck your chin!